Okay, good. Welcome back. Now let's discuss if, elif, else statements. So these statements can be used to tell Python to perform particular task if certain condition is met. Otherwise, we can do another kind of task. So what I mean by this is that, let's say we provide a comparison statement to Python. So if I say if 1 is greater than 2, then do the following. It can be anything like print this is incorrect. So if I run this, then you see that Python is not doing anything because this statement itself is incorrect. We can even put any kind of like boolean object here. Like if I put true here, in that case it will be printed, because if this is true, then print the following. And if I make it false, then this will not be printed. So depending on certain conditions, we can have this task, this command executed by Python or not. Now let me give you a better example. So if you have something like a variable x, which is, let's say, -3, then I can perform some task with respect to this x. For example, if x is greater than or equal to 0, then we can print this number is positive. Else, you don't have to give this indent here. The if and else can be just below each other. We can print this number is negative. So when we run this code, we see that Python checks if this condition is true. Since it is not, it just skips this line of code and then it goes to else statement and it executes the code given under this else statement. This was my example 1. Now let me give another example. Let's say we have some number defined as maybe 24. Then we can write if number when divided by 2, if its remainder is 0, then this will be even number. So if you recall from our arithmetic operation lecture, we saw that the percent symbol gives us the remainder. So if the remainder of this number when divided by 2, if remainder is 0, then we can print this is even number. And we can give else statement if num remainder 2 is 1, then print this is odd number. So when we run this, we see that else statement could not handle the second condition. So in the case when we have multiple conditions to be checked before going towards else, we have to use elif. So Python checks the condition given within if, then if it is true, it will be executed and the code stops there. If this statement is false, then it goes towards next statement, that is elif statement, and again it will check if this statement is true or not, and then it will again check if this condition is true or not, and in the end we have else. We can print give correct input. So when we run this now, we see that Python tells us this is even number. If I change it to 7, then it will say this is odd number. And let's see what happens if we make it a float. Then it says give correct input, and we can have any number of elif statements in between. So let's see one more example. So let's say someone is having a score of 90, and as an instructor you have to figure out, let's say, what grade should be given to the student. Then you can have simple if, elif, else statements, and you can give your entire data to this Python code and it will give you the grades in the output. So let me show you how it will be done. So let's say if score is greater than or equal to 90, then we will print grade A. Then our second condition is again elif, if score is greater than or equal to maybe 75, then print grade B. Then we can have elif score greater than or equal to 60. Oh, my bad. Then we print grade C. And then again, one more elif we can have. We can have as many elifs as we want. It's just that we should end with the else. So if score is greater than or equal to maybe 45, then print grade D. And then finally we use else print grade F. So when we run this now, we see that the grade is A. If I change the score maybe to 44, then it says grade F. So like this you can play around with if elif else statements. We'll just now look at a simple login system. One more example. It's a simple login system. So let's say in the backend, you define username to be admin and the password to be 1234. And then let's say we will ask a user their username and password. So let me store that ask username, something like this. It will be input, and then I will just keep it simple, username. And then we also ask for password. And then if this username that we ask to our user matches the actual username stored in the database, then we will say login is successful. Otherwise, login will fail. So then to compare, to check if they are matching, we can use if else statements. So if ask username is same as actual username, and actually we should use just the and at the same time ask password is also same as the actual password stored in our database, then we print login successful. Else we print invalid username or password. So now let's run this code, and then Python will ask us username. So let me just say Akshay, and then password is, let's say 1235. And then Python compares my input with the actual username and password, and then runs the if else statement and figures out that okay, this was not matching, so it does not execute this line and directly goes to else statement, and hence we get invalid username or password printed in the output. And when you are building actual some software, you will be having, instead of this simple print statements, you may have some login attempts with your database and so on. So here these statements are just placeholders. In the actual projects, there will be some advanced code block here. So this was the simple introduction to if else statements. I hope you understood it and enjoyed it as well. With this much, I'll see you in the next one.